Okay, today I've been asked to make a recording of how I find out places of where I go prospecting to find the good gold or other minerals that I'm looking for. I use a program called the BLM Geocommunicator. It's available free, and I tell you what, use Mozilla Firefox to get to this site, because it doesn't work very well in Internet Explorer. It actually doesn't work at all that I've ever found. So we'll start there, and we'll just put the address in, www. And see how it comes up right for me, geocommunicator.gov. It always says that, so I click OK. And I always click these three tabs over here to turn those on. And I kind of figure out, let's say I want to go prospecting down by Ennis, Montana. Let's see if we can find that here. And just use your mouse button to zoom in. And it's kind of a slow program, even though I've got pretty good internet speed here. It's just the BLM computers aren't that fast. And getting a little closer here. Scoot over here. Here's Ennis, Montana right here. Let's go over into the Revenue Flats area. Just see what's going on over there. I got way off there somehow. Okay, you can see by the colors, if I click on this folder over here, it tells you BLM Wilderness Area is this color, BLM is this color. This just tells you where all the BLM lands are. So if you cruise over here by Ennis Lake, you can see there's a little different color in the Lee Metcalf Wilderness Area than there is in the surrounding BLM lands that are out here. These BLM lands are all public lands. It doesn't necessarily mean you'll have good access to them, because there's a lot of grazing rights and other things that people are using these lands for. Let's go look at this area right in here. Let's see, I don't see any mining going on around there, but I'm going to turn the overlay down a little bit so it's not so sharp. I'm going to click into this area. I'll put on this identify button. That changes my hand to identify button, and I'll click within this section here, and we'll click on this mining claim here, and it takes a minute for it to load. Have to be patient with it. Remember, we're dealing with government computers here. We'll try again. Close that. And you can click on any of these, see, this is a whole township right here. You can click anywhere inside this township and it'll give you all the data for everything within inside this township for every section. And for mining claims in this section, there is zero. There is nothing going on there, so you would assume that if nobody's been mining there, it's probably been prospected, but nothing has been found. So let's take a look around this area and see if we see anything else that's going on. Okay, if you look up in here, you can see some different marks, or different cuts out of the section markers, and that generally indicates that there's some claim activity in that area. And moving up here, there's a whole bunch of it going on right in here. It's not this looks like it's all private land except for a little section right here. I don't know if you can see the yellow there. Now let's click on the mining claim here and see if there's some activities going on there. Yes, in this section there is quite a few claims owned by several different people. If you wanted to know more about that particular person, to see where they lived or whatever, you could click on the serial number. It's really not all that important. It just tells you that there's some mining claims in the area, when it was located, when it was last assessed, to make sure it's active. And then if you really wanted to, you could PDF it and print it out. It could just tell you that there's, it really tells you. I do it sometimes to see how much mining activity is going on in a place. In this case, there's only one page, so it's not necessarily real heavy, but it does look to me like a lot of that is on private land. The only way to really find out is to drive up there, but BLM does a pretty good job at mapping out their BLM with the colors on here. One thing I will warn you about is that it does open up several different windows down here in the bottom. It's always good to go back and close those. Can cause you some problems later. You can look at these maps several different ways. Take its time. Every time you move, it reloads. So you can look at it in a topo map, and you can adjust your overlay density of what's what, and you can see that there's quite a bit of BLM land right around the revenue mine. If you scroll in a little bit closer, kind of tone down your overlay a little bit, you can see lots of things that have been mapped here for the revenue mine, the mine shafts, the prospects, and whatnot. And you probably want to know a little bit more about this section of land, so we'll identify it right here and click the mining claims. Of course, computers are taking their sweet time today. Sometimes you have to do this 2-3 times. Sometimes you have to, it doesn't work at all. You have to wait a few days. Try it again. Okay, this one, we have quite a bit here. Ellsworth Geological seems to have quite a bit going on here. And looks like there's some of these claims are taken up by companies, some by private individuals. It really doesn't matter. We all have equal rights. under the law. And this has got one page there, but once again, go back and close all these little windows so it doesn't cause you any problems on other searches that you guys make. Pretty interesting stuff. You can look at it from a topo map, world street map, which just kind of shows you some roads. You know, you can brighten up or tone down the overlays. That tells you where all these claims, or a lot of these are patented claims, meaning that the government has granted the land to the claimant. They don't do that anymore at this time. It's under moratorium. So you can't purchase the land. Then you can get a sort of a Google Earth view, if you will. It's not perfect, but you can see the mine, and you can zoom in a little bit on what's going on over there. And looks like it's pretty commercialized. So, but that doesn't mean there's not areas around here that you cannot you can get into and prospect. This is the point where it gets to be, let's say this is an area you're really interested in prospecting. Well, it's your job to know where it's legal to prospect and where it isn't legal to prospect. And we know that BLM land, for the most part, is legal to prospect if it hasn't been claimed by another party. What you do from here, in this particular case, is you would call the Billings Department of the Interior Bureau of Land Management office and ask to get this particular section maps. We'll go back to the topo map. I'll back out here a little bit. And like we did with the inquiry, you can click on it and it gives you the land Keats, Montana 20 T3S R1W. You could give those numbers to the people at the BLM and say, I would like copies of all the claim maps for that section of land. You could even ask for certain parts of the section. Say you want section 1 of that, you could get section 1 of that township instead of purchasing the whole township. I've done it before. I usually just get it by the township. It makes it easy because it comes with all the maps. You'll get a packet like this from the Department of the Interior. And it'll come with all the maps that people have filed. Pretty simple stuff. It just shows the different maps of what people have claimed up there. And that way you know where their claims are. But it's also the claim owner's responsibility to have his claim marked. If you ever went up prospecting and you didn't want to do that, you could just look around for markers. If you don't see any, you're probably in pretty good shape. It's not necessarily the best way to do it. You know, if you happen to be prospecting an area and somebody come along and said, hey, I'm the claim owner, what are you doing prospecting my land? You know, you just apologize and pack up and leave. That's about the best you can do there. Lots of neat things out there. I also use Google Earth to find lots of different places. You know, Google Earth is pretty good for lots of things. It shows detail, although sometimes it doesn't look as rugged as it really is, and you get up into the mountains and find out that maybe that wasn't such a good place to go. I do use some overlays that are out there. You can search for them and find them. One of them is called Earth Point Fly To. Earth Point Townships, Earth Point subscription message there, which I'm overdue on mine. But I have so many things marked out on here. It's kind of fun to have all this stuff just kind of handy. Like areas that I've prospected or want to prospect, or just check out. So there's Pony, Montana. I've tried to get up here to do some prospecting, but I'll tell you what, I've got the maps for that area, and there's not much left up there that's not claimed. So I've got on here, you can see where I've got my mine marked out right here. That's one of my personal claims. So I use both. I use Google Earth because it's kind of fun, because you can go see particular things. You can find mine sites like this particular one, and it's pretty interesting how they've got it set up. So with that, good luck finding places. There's lots of places to go mining. Just keep looking. You can't give up on it. You got to keep going with it. I've dug 1,000 holes and not found a thing, and I've dug one hole and hit pay dirt. So it's just luck of the draw.